good morning everyone. Everyone on the west coast it is, because quite frankly, it's almost completely afternoon here. Naturally I'm getting a late start to the day, and hold on for just a second. Sorry. Anyway, it's almost afternoon here, and I'm getting a late start to the day. I had some sleep to catch up on. Had some interesting things happen last week, and figured I would go ahead and just get this ball rolling. I'm sure everyone's seen the drama on Twitter and everything else, and of course over my social media I have included a link which I think is still in the description down below. If not, I'll make sure it's put there and stays there. And that link is for a friend of mine who had a heart attack a couple of years ago. He was unaware he was having one. He thought he was just having a little trouble breathing. And at first they thought it might have been COVID, and well, as it turns out, it was actually a heart attack. And the medical bills have been piling up, and finally he finally decided to reach out to all of you, myself included, and start a GoFundMe. I know times are hard all over. However, if you cannot donate, understand something. That is something I understand entirely. But I do, if you look at it and think that there's nothing you can do, I'm going to say that is total bullshit. There is something you can do, and something we would all very much appreciate. Spread that link all over your social media. Let your friends know. This is a friend of a friend, and he needs our help. So far, he's a little over a third of the way toward his goal, and any amount you can give is greatly appreciated. Don't be intimidated by what you see. So far, people have been really, exceedingly generous, and for that I thank you all. But if you cannot contribute, then just spread the link. That way you could put some eyes on it who may be able to. And if you do that, that is something you have done. Everyone can do something, including you. So, also, personally, I've been kind of in a dark place lately with a few things. And I know that's weird coming from a guy who says, always do what lights you up, always play what lights you up, but let's face it, sometimes even I can go into some pretty dark places. And you know what? I've had to do a couple readings for myself and see what was going on with me, because it wasn't like me. And finally, I just kind of let go of things I couldn't control, and that seems to have helped. Unfortunately, there are times where people want to bring up the thing you can't control, and you're like, no, I'm not going to entertain that today. And that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to go right back to the start. So we've got the Uncommon Tarot, we've got the Viking Oracle, we've got the Starseed Oracle, and we've got the Spirit Animal Oracle today. We are going to do a full reading, because this is our weekly reading, and I really want to get this underway on the day of Odin. I really want us to seek that wisdom, and I want us to go emerge from the dark place that we like to kind of huddle up into at times. And let's face it, let's just be honest with ourselves and each other. Sometimes isn't kind of curling up in the dark just a little more comfortable? No one can see you, no one can mess with you. You're right there in your little hole, and there it is. Right? We've all been to some pretty dark places, but now it's time for us to get out of there. It's time for us to emerge. Maybe be seen. Let's see. Because I really want to know, what will it take? What do we need to do in order to get us back to the point where we're actually okay? What do we need to know? Maybe there's something in here. Maybe it's just one little card that'll tell us everything we need to know. Or maybe this entire picture will put everything into a new perspective, and we can emerge even victorious. Ready? Let's do it. Alright, starting with us. What did I say about emerging into the light? This should be us. We should be that guiding sun. We should be that beacon of hope. I kind of made a decision yesterday on social media. I said, you know what? Enough with this drama. This drama's doing nothing but dragging me down. I need to say something. And I noticed something. And I put it out there. And I said, you know, we tend to... And the gist of it was that we are moved, we're pushed so far in one direction that we push back, and when we do, we tend to overcorrect. We don't push back and go, okay, here's what's reasonable. We're willing to have you here, but understand you're not going to get preferential treatment for it. Stop living in the past. Get with today. We fail to make those understandings. Instead, we think we know better too, and then we push, and it just keeps going back and forth. Remember when I said, stop, don't give all your ground. Meet in the middle. That was the last time we talked, wasn't it? I think going to the middle and then guiding all the rest is actually a better way to do it. And for those who just want to make drama, just leave them in their state. Because they don't belong. You can lead horses to water, you just can't make them drink. You can light up a room, and you can guide. But after a while, only those that want to take it, those are the ones that you need. I've always said this. Now, I'm going to say this. We are on this channel right now, just to illustrate my point. I want to go to my studio real quick and just have a look at something. If you'll indulge me. I know this kind of adds more time to it, but it needs to be done. Right now, this channel is at 231 subscribers. And you want to know something? I never, in my wildest dreams, ever thought it would go that far. I'm seeing upticks everywhere on this channel, and I have you to thank for it. Because what have I always said? I don't need 1 million of you. I just need you. You can do all the rest. You change your world. You change you. The world around you will begin to change too. It's a process, and you have to trust that process. Take it slow. Take it one day at a time. Take it one moment at a time. Live beat to beat. Live moment to moment. And see what kind of things that you can do, what you can control, and just worry about that. Don't worry about the things you can't. What did I say earlier? Meeting in the middle. Guiding people. It's the message isn't changing here, ladies and gentlemen. You want to affect change in the world. You have to be that change. What do? You got to be able to listen to others when they provide you valid criticism too. Some people have told me, hey, you know what? Cut the pre-talk to about maybe a minute or so. Okay. It's the one thing they don't want to have to sift through, right? So, what do you do? With yourself, with your world, with your day-to-day, what do you do? Do you do what little you can at a time? Or do you continue this process of like trying to control the world around you? You're never going to do it. Trust and believe. I know. So, what do we look to in nature to kind of guide us here? You're going to have to listen. Now the hawk, we usually think of the hawk as very brave and bold. And we know fortune really favors the bold. Hawks sweep in and snatch their prey up, and they've got lunch. They've got dinner. They can feed themselves. They're self-sufficient. But that spirit of being bold, we need to keep that alive, and we need to listen to it. We need to let that guide us. So far, right now, this entire row is just matching up. It's all syncing together. And you can see it all coming together, can't you? Without me even revealing the rest of the cards. But let's check in on ourselves a little mentally here. Got a Six of Swords, got the Moon, and got the Wise One in reverse. So right now, starting with the Six of Swords, it's time to really kind of let yourself emerge and be seen. You've been wrapped up in the chrysalis for far too long. Spread those wings. Let yourself be seen. It's time to let go of your fear. Your fear is not profiting you anything. And guess what? In a dark place mentally? Yeah, me too. Pretty scary places mentally speaking. Remember how I said even I've been in a dark place mentally? Well, that's true. And right now, we're not looking for an appeal to authority because you are the authority you seek here. You have to look to yourself. You're going to have to trust yourself a little bit. And you're going to have to exercise just that little bit of patience. Because you got to turn your back on a few old traditions. You got to forge some new pathways. Now, this doesn't mean traditions that just, oh, that's just stodgy old stuff. No. You know what works and what doesn't. And you're going to have to go with what will. Let me tell you something. Sometimes, even though tradition is great, even though it's rooted and steeped in things that work and have worked for many years, sometimes you do have to cut your own path. There's a banner. It is on my Twitter. It says, cut your own path instead of, following another's. You know what? That is hard. And maybe that's what you're afraid of the most. I know it's what I'm afraid of most, cutting my own path. Even though that's what I've done for many years. I don't listen to people that tell me, that's wrong, you shouldn't do it. There are people that think this entire channel should not exist. It exists anyway. I don't care. Those people can be the way they are. They can be, as rude and nasty as they want, but that does not stop this at all. That's the way it's always been. It's the way it always will be. The scariest part is knowing for a little while you're going to be alone. You're probably going to lose friends. Guess what? You're not really losing friends. You're losing people that considered you a friend if you adhered to a certain mindset, and that is not you. Understand? It's going to suck for a while, but you will eventually attract your own. Ready for the physical? Well, we got an Eight of Swords in reverse. Got a Two of Swords. And we got an Ace of Swords. I'm seeing challenge, challenge, challenge across the board. Right now, you're going to have to work through a lot of your issues. Normally that Eight of Swords means that we just, our problems seem a little bigger than what they really are. But we just shake off the bonds there because they're not exactly wrapped all that tight. And then we move on. So you're actually liberated. You're completely free of that now. Now, you have to do this. You have to choose to move on. You have to find that silver lining in the dark cloud. You have to initiate yourself into that higher state of being. Understand? Also understand that is going to be a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Look for what works for you. Some people are going to have to be cut loose. It's just how it is. And make no mistake, it's not going to be easy. It will create brand new conflict, but this is an opportunity to explore new states of mind. This is an opportunity to explore new thoughts. New for you. Maybe just something old. If you want a really new idea, read a really old book. Case in point, I used to look at Edgar Rice Burroughs, Clark Ashton Smith, and those kinds of writers, and I used to think, you know, I've watched the Tarzan TV show, you know, and watched him swing from vine to vine, and I've seen the parodies like George of the Jungle and stuff like that. And I looked at old sci-fi and the artwork that coincided with it and just didn't really think it was my thing. But since hanging with a group of much younger role players who are just as into the older sets of rules as I am, I've decided to take their advice and read Edgar Rice Burroughs, Clark Ashton Smith, and some of those others and see what comes of it. Maybe I'll enjoy it. You never know. Probably will. I actually watched the movie John Carter and was surprised. It was actually really, really good. And that was based off Edgar Rice Burroughs' A Princess of Mars. So if you really want a new idea, read a really old book. Need some ideas for your table or whatever for those tabletop games? Hey, read some old books. Read those books your friends aren't reading. Come up with that idea. Bring an old idea to life. Maybe put a new spin on it. Never know. You will attract your own. Don't worry about the ones you lose. The ones you lose, they're stuck in their ways. You're not. Not today. We also have a Ten of Swords in reverse. We've got a star. And we got a Nine of Swords in reverse. A lot of swords in this one. And we're dealing with those thought processes. We're dealing with a lot of the conflict as well. That Ten of Swords in reverse, I usually say that's the Who Did You Piss Off Rasputin card. Really get through this fog of confusion that you're in right now. Going back to that Ace of Swords for a minute. Because you're going to need it. But the Ten of Swords is great news, spiritually speaking. This is your new beginning. This is the dawn of a new day. This is your Dagon moment right here. So, lick your wounds and move on. This is where you heal. So it's time to find that healing energy. It's time to just move on. Stop being a pissy bitch about things. It's not helping. What is the sun if not a star? People have used stars in the dark of night to guide their way. When the moon is out, so are the stars. Look to your light sources and where to find them. Become your own light source and guide others. Whatever this thing is, if it's keeping you up at night, it's because you haven't moved on. Spiritually speaking, it is time to get yourself to that quiet place and trust your process. Ladies and gentlemen, I am begging you, have that patience. Stop trying to get ahead of yourselves and everybody else. Stop trying. Look, the Joneses don't exist. I hate to tell you that. Here's a bit of illusion breaking news for you. Keeping up with the Joneses is overrated. Because it doesn't teach you gratitude. It teaches you attitude. Have gratitude. I'm thankful every day for these tarot decks. I'm thankful for this camera. I'm thankful for the computer that brings all of this video to you. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this channel. I'm thankful for the ability to be able to put this out for you. Because this is just what I do. It's what I do for fun. I love this kind of thing. Which is why it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me if no one ever drops to those links and sends me something off my wish list, that's fine. Sometimes I'll just go and grab something off my own wish list. It's mostly a placeholder, so I don't have to look it up again. I just figured I'd share it. See? I was actually accused of e-begging. No. It doesn't matter to me whether another person drops down in there or not. If this is where you find the real value, this is where you find the real value. And it's absolutely free because I'm thankful for you. You show up for these. I don't need the rest. I don't need to keep up with the Joneses. It's fine. That's why I still live in a tiny little apartment. I have a job. I'm good. I don't need a million. I just need you. See what I'm saying? Alright. Let's move on. Let's see. How can we How can we tap into our inner star seeds here? How can we, radiate that out? How can we shine on? Like I do every show, like I tell you to close out. Well, let's start with this. So you're going to have to devote yourself to something. You're going to have to make sure it's not something impotent. You're going to have to deliver that potency yourself. You're going to have to make your life a moving prayer. Right now in your mind, you need to get that very focused and very determined. Christians say it all the time. Christians say this kind of thing all the time. Prayer changes things. So what is it you've devoted your life to right now? Examine that. Because if it's not working out for you, it's time to cut ties with it. It's time to move on. It's time to find whatever it is you want to devote yourself to and move into it. No fear, move into it and get it done. Sounds easier said than done, I know. Make your life that offering to whatever it is you serve, whatever it is to whom you're devoted. Do it, do it, do it. Always keep that in mind. Physically, though, you're going to have to trust timing. I've been saying this, trust your process. Trust all the processes. Trust that things will work out, but they may not work out when you think they should. So trust that wave that you came in on, because time is not running out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be 45 this year. I don't feel like time's running out for me. Believe one thing, after a good 2-hour walk at a brisk pace that's constant, I do feel it I feel it in the feet, I feel it in the knees, I feel it in the legs on the day after. I really feel it. But I still do it because that's my process. I'm in the process of getting better. If you're not in the process of bettering yourself, you're not in the process of bettering anything else. It's just fact. Right now, I'd love to be ripped and, got that Wolverine build going, but I'm having to work at it. It's just how it is. I'm not going to get slimmed down and shredded as fast as one of these Hollywood actors. It doesn't last. It doesn't. Here we go. Star bathing. So, are you doing this? Are you really kind of just embracing those light sources? It talks about crystal grids, transmissions, and activations, but that's really where we want to look at, is activating your inner light source. How do you do that? Well, look at what you love. Here's my question. Do you use what you love to throw out others, or do you use it to bring others in? Let me tell you something. I've heard this so much. I don't want to play with this type of person. I don't want to play with that type of person. No, this type of person needs to go. No, you need to be out. You need to be out. You need to be out. Me, I'm like, hey, I'm running a game. If you want to play, sit down and roll up a character sheet. Let's play. Well, I don't want to play with this type of person. Okay, then don't come to the table. Just don't. Oh, then they'll other you when you say that. Here's the thing. They're not about what you love. They may claim to love it themselves, but they're not about what you love. And there are people who will say, you know what? I'll play. All right, well, roll up a character. Here you go. Got your dice? Need a set of dice? Okay, here you go. Go ahead. Roll up your character. Let's do this. You will find all different kinds of people. Will just sit at that table. They'll play. They'll cut up. They'll have a few laughs. And before you know it, it becomes about that thing you love. Not about each other's differences. They're there despite those differences. That's what makes all of it. But make no mistake about it. I will never make your purchasing decisions. I will never run your table, and I will never dictate how you do things at your table. And if I sit down at your table and it's just not really my thing, the way I'll do it is I'll sit out that. I don't want to disrupt your game. I will sit out the rest of that session. I will come up to you. I'll say, you know what? I really thank you for the invite, but I'm kind of feeling like this is not really my jam. I'm not really feeling the vibe here. But I do thank you. It's been fun. But I think I'm going to either try to run one myself or, try to find something that's a little bit more me, have fun. I hope this campaign or this game works out for you. All right, and you guys are welcome at my table anytime. Okay, thank you, and that's it. That's the mature way to just get up and walk away. Thank them for their time. If you want to see that respect brought back to something that you love, you're going to have to bring it back yourself. Be that example. Finally, the runes. We've got Laguz. This is where, again, we're going with flow here. This is that lake. You're going to have to go with those ebbs and flows. You're going to have to learn to trust that process. You cannot always be in control of the oars, no matter how good you are at rowing. In fact, you have to use those ebbs and flows to your advantage. You have to see how they can benefit you. Remember what I said, you've already got it. You've got the gifts that are needed. Look to those. Appreciate what you have. Develop those gifts. Stop trying to ignore them. And finally, remember what I said, it's about the journey, not the destination. And yes, there are many paths to the same point. Some people are going to take the long way, some people are going to take shortcuts. It's fine. As long as everybody reaches that same point, we're good to go. You don't have to worry about what path the other person takes. Take yours, focus on yours. And that is the entire thing. You're going to have to boldly focus on your vision, get it clear in your mind, and go for it. Stop hiding what you are and what you love from everyone else because, they will say something. That there's a lot of fear about that. Well, you know what? Fuck their fear. It's not up to them. It is up to you. You have to live with you. You have to deal with you. It's not all about you, but it kind of is all about you. See what I'm saying? It's you that has to change yourself, and then the world around you will change. It might just start with a few people, and then there's this group over here. Hey, they seem to know what we're into. Hey, they seem to know what we're into. Before you know it, it becomes this groundswell. Like I said, I never thought this channel or these videos would reach all of you, but they have. And it amazes me. I'm surprised by it every day. Even though now we're only doing one video a week. One live stream every 2. I'm still thankful every day for you because you are my greatest gift. You're the greatest gift I ever could have had, and that's why I keep providing these. My way of saying thank you. Also, I love you all. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. I want you to always do what lights you up, because that's how you lead. And as always, shine on.